Hi friends, good morning or good evening, depending on where in the world you are. I'm coming on today to talk about an experience that I had 2 days ago, not yesterday, the day before, in the morning, Sunday morning on the 19th. And I've been sitting in the energetics of this happening to try to frame the way that I want to speak about it. And I thought for a minute that I wanted to learn how to overlay the photos that I'm going to share about it with my video, with my voice, because I wanted to be able to both hold the energetics of how I'm going to speak into it and also ask you to experience it for yourself. So I kind of wanted to have them at the same time, but I don't think that that's the right way. I think I'm going to speak about it and then I'm going to share the photos, and hopefully you can have your own experience. Yeah. So 2 mornings ago, Jen and I got up and we went to watch the sunrise at the beach. And we have done this a couple of times since it's gotten really cold, and oftentimes we look out the window to see if it will be a good sunrise or not. We try to determine before we get out of bed and put our many layers of clothing on if it's going to be good. And sometimes we look at the weather and is it good enough for, -10 or whatever the conversation is. But on Sunday, we got up and I just knew that I should go. And so I did, and Jen came with me. And we walked down and we were experiencing the sunrise there the way that we have many times before. And then she noticed this column, this prism, a channel of light. And it looked like a rainbow, but just straight up and down. And as I started to feel into the energetics that were present in this experience, in this encounter, I started to cry. And this happens to me often when I am in the presence, in the energetics of love. And we can talk about what it is. We can talk about whether it's a phenomenon, a light catching on the mist of the water from the sunrise. We could talk about if it's a miracle that's been given to us by God. We can talk about if it's a natural phenomenon. We can talk about if it's part of these increasing observations of aliens that are happening in our physical world. We can look at all kinds of explanations about why we are having this continually increasing ability to experience metaphysical occurrences, phenomenon, miracles. And as I was standing there witnessing, it felt like I was being shown. And I stood in the energetics, just tears streaming down my face, friends, because it felt like love. And there was a physical felt sensation. There was a frequency. And we can look to science. There have been many authors and scientists and researchers who have put out a wide variety of publications supporting scientifically observable methods for observing frequency. Or we could tune into our deeper knowing that our emotional state broadcasts like a radio wave, like a wave. We are broadcasting. We are an antenna. And in that moment, I opened myself as a channel to this occurrence. And in that space, I'm able to perceive that I've entered into a different level of consciousness. And maybe there are channels here who are watching this and you know exactly what I mean. And maybe there are people here watching now who have never channeled and who are still yet to open to this experience, because we are all channels. So as I'm observing this, I'm thinking about truths, deep knowings that I have in my body, in my soul, in my being. And I know that the love that I am cultivating here with Jen are intentional daily practices, devotional practices, prayers to love. I know that not all the time, not every time, but sometimes we are witnessing, channeling, creating, calling in, sending out. We are calling in this depth of unconditional love, this depth of divinity, source. It's the spirit. It's the thing that breathes and connects us all. And sometimes we are holding this channel, and in our prayers, when we pray to thank the earth for all of her generous abundance, for nourishing us, and when I thank the plants for sacrificing their spirits to nourish our bodies, I ask to be an anchor of this kind of love, this kind of unconditional, devotional, divine love. I ask to be an anchor here in this place, in this spot physically on the earth that I am. I ask to be a channel and an anchor for these frequencies. And I ask for assistance and I ask for grace from higher dimensional beings. And this is part of my practice. And as I stood on the beach witnessing this thing that I've never witnessed before, I had a choice in that moment to believe that what I was witnessing with the senses that are not my physical senses was truth. And in that moment, I believed this is truth. I'm experiencing other dimensional energy frequencies, other dimensional energetic forces. And I tuned into my deeper knowing, and I stood on the beach and cried. Jen had a felt sensation as well about the energetics. She felt them mostly in her heart and in her chest. And when I think about the language that people use to describe these other dimensional frequency occurrences, and I think about this like alien term, like what is alien, friends? And can we trust ourselves to observe differences in the world between what we believe we can experience, what we expect to experience, and what we are feeling with our felt sense? Because it felt like love. And it felt like compassion and understanding and acknowledgement. It felt like grace. And for those of us who have cultivated this level of resonance energetically, to be in the frequency of the divine grace, I know what this feels like, friends, because every time it comes, I think, oh my God, I'm in the presence of God. And I cry. And that's what I felt like when I was standing on the beach. And so I wanted to speak about this because there is this very felt sense, friends, that what we've observed before in the world is not the depth of what we're able to observe. And whether it's because, I don't know what the reason is, that we are increasingly able to see more, to see differently, to experience more, to feel more. We are increasingly coming into our own authentic awareness of what energy feels like. We can feel it. It's a felt sense. And so with this developing sense, there are many things happening in the world, friends. Many things are changing. And I think what I want to do is show you the difference between experiencing with this other energy sense, experiencing, witnessing a miracle, witnessing God, witnessing aliens, whatever are the boundaries, the borders of our language. The English language has borders, friends. Our human experience is met with these borders around how we describe these other events, these other instances. However we describe it, it does not matter what kind of language we attach to it, because it is the felt sense. And as you start to see these things on social media, or it doesn't matter, that we're going to start to see more and more and more, I encourage you to tune into your own authentic knowing. What does it feel like when you see it? Does it feel like truth? Does it feel like love? Or does it feel like fear? Does it feel like manipulation? You will know. And you can trust your own felt knowing. And as you continue to open yourself up to different layers of felt, of known experience, you will begin to trust this knowing more. But it begins with opening yourself to have these experiences in a different way. So I'm going to share the photos, and I encourage you to lean in. I hope this reaches you in love. I love you.